Hey everybody, this is Ernie. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pass along the information that I learned at the coaches meeting. So I'll just be going through the numbers. So if we look at number one right there, when you come on Friday for the pre-ski and for all other subsequent days, you are supposed to enter the race venue through Telemark Road, not through McNaughton Road. So that's the same way that you entered for the Getcha Gamey games. Pretty much they want you coming in through Telemark and then out through McNaught Road. Okay, then item number 2 is essentially none of the buildings are going to be open for the general public, to include the Great Hall, just to minimize people gathering and stuff like that. All right, then item number 3 is essentially bibs. So either me or Mrs. Hagedorn will pick up bibs on Friday. So hopefully we can get those bibs disseminated to you on Friday before you leave, when we're done with the pre-ski. If you're not going to be at the pre-ski on Friday, then you can get the bib from me on Saturday morning. Okay. So you are going to keep the same bib for both days. And what I understand is that there are supposed to be 2 timing bands that'll be with your bib. And the numbers on those timing bands match your bib number. So you should double check that. And then one wristband is for one day, and then the other wristband is for the other day. And if you look at item C there, there is a timing chip in the wristband. So be careful that you don't damage the chip in the wristband, because that's what's going to stop and start the timer for you. So don't be crinkling up the wristband or whatever. Okay, then for Sunday, apparently they are going to run it as a pursuit start, with the whole time back and everything. So I'm supposed to get stickers, and then basically make sure that I give you your sticker for Sunday, prior to your race, because essentially that tells the starters which lane you go in and how far back you are going to start and whatever. Okay, then the last thing as far as, your goodie bag goes, so you're going to get a t-shirt, but they are not doing any t-shirt exchanges this year. Pretty much the size that you got is the size you got, and that's the way it is. Okay. And then item number 4 is all about masks. So you should be wearing a mask at all times. And the only time that you can take a mask off is after you start. So, basically you're going to be standing at the start gate with your mask on. You'll start, and then there's supposed to be a couple of orange cones about 20 feet after you start, and then that is when you can pull your mask off and go mask free. But other than that, you need to have a mask on at all times when you're at the race venue. Okay, another thing is number 5 there. So they want the race looking professional, and they don't want people flaunting around in hardly any clothes. So what we would ask is that you need to be wearing at least shorts and a t-shirt when you're skiing and when you're racing. So no sports bras and whatever. But yeah, let's look good as a team. So that's kind of the purpose there. Okay, and then number 6 is we're gonna make sure when you're there that you're being aware of the whole social distancing thing. And that is going to be especially true when you're at the wax tent. Okay, don't be clustering in the wax tent. Don't be clustering anywhere. At all times, make sure you can hold your arms out and neither of you can touch fingers. And then You are going to have to like check in with me at the wax tent when you get there every morning, and pretty much what I'm going to ask you is I'm going to ask you, are you at all sick? And if you have any sort of symptoms, like you cannot participate. Like headache, runny nose, cough, scratchy throat, upset stomach, fever. Pretty much if you're at all sick, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to race. Okay, and like be aware that, like it says there, that Adam will not be there the whole weekend, because essentially Adam was contact traced from me when I tested positive. So, like, Adam feels fine. Adam is not sick. I don't think Adam is going to apparently get sick from me if he hasn't caught it yet, but those are the rules. And, the race organizers are kind enough to put on the event, but the one thing that they're asking from everybody is, if you're at all sick, don't come, because they're kind of, taking a chance on putting together this big of an event for you. So, okay, and then another thing would be, they're asking us to limit that there are 2 spectators per athlete. And again, that's just to minimize the number of people that are at the race venue and whatever. So remember that they are going to live broadcast the race, so grandmas and grandpas and whatever can watch the live broadcast from the race. And I believe that link is available on the Wisconsin State Championships website. Okay, then essentially item number 7 is all about the course. So of course we will pre-ski the course on Friday, but the high school course is 6.75 kilometers long. So from what they told us, when they groom it for Saturday for the skate day, there are going to be literally no tracks. Like, it's just going to purely be a skate deck. Okay, and then item B there, 7B. So the only people that can be moving on the course, during the race are coaches with a green armband. And pretty much like what they're saying there is, like, for example, let's say that a parent like skis out on the course to watch while the course is closed and while the race is running. Essentially nobody can be on the course with skis on. Like, you can be out on the course, like you can get out there while the course is open, but then once you get to your place, like, you must remove your skis and you must be off the course. The only people that can be moving on the course during the race are coaches with a green armband, and there are 2 armbands per team. So, okay, so then as far as the clock goes, so on Saturday the clock is going to be set to the time of the day, and when you look at your when we look at your start list for Saturday, like the time that it says on the start list, when the clock says that time, that's when you're going to be racing. So you make sure that you pay attention, that you know exactly what time you're going to start, and make sure that you're there on time. Because like, I'm going to have quite a bit going on, and so are the other coaches. So yeah, don't expect the coaches to say, okay, you got 20 minutes until you start. You monitor yourself and, have your own situational awareness that way. Okay, and then the clock on Sunday is going to be essentially a running clock. Like, there'll be a countdown until the first person goes out, but then from there, the time shown on the clock will be the time since the first person has gone out on course. And like the stickers that I will give you for Sunday, the time that it says on the sticker, that is the time that you will start back from the leader. So like that is a little bit of a change. Originally, we thought that it was not going to be a pursuit start, but apparently that changed and it is going to be a pursuit start. Okay, and then another thing is when you finish, don't collapse at the finish. Really what they're trying to avoid there is they're trying to avoid congestion at the finish. So finish, do the best you can to wander some other location, and then once you get like away from the finish, then go ahead and like have a seat and figure out what planet you're on and whatever. But basically they just don't want a whole bunch of people laying around the finish. Again, that's just a social distancing thing. So all right, and then the last order of business here is the tracking rule. So the tracking rule is in effect on Saturday, but not Sunday. So what that means is let's say you're catching somebody on Saturday and you want them to move over, you can yell track and they have to move over. And the same thing applies to you. If you're skiing and you hear somebody yell track, like you have to move over. Like you do not have to move over and stop. Yeah, like don't do that, but just pull over, keep your momentum going, but essentially you need to let the person go by. Okay, but that does not apply on Sunday. You can't track anybody and nobody can track you. But one distinction there is at the same time, you cannot impede somebody else. So in other words, like let's say somebody's catching you, like you're in the left track and the person that's catching you is in the right track. What you cannot do is you can't like recognize that person is going to catch you and then you move over into the right track, essentially trying to slow them down. Like that's called impeding somebody else. So you cannot do that. But if you got any questions about the tracking rule or whatever, make sure you let me know. But that's pretty much all the information that I have from the coaches meeting. So if you got any questions about it, let me know. We will for sure talk about some things at the pre-ski on Friday. But all right, so all your coaches and all your parents are excited to see how you do, and it's getting closer minute by minute here. So go ahead, get yourself some rest. Make sure you guys are drinking fluid. You should be peeing clear for the next 72 hours here. Yellow urine means you're dehydrated, and dehydrated people do not ski fast. But take care of your body, and we will see you on Friday. All right, bye.